كلمة الحفل مع السيد نور الدين الإدريس، فليتفضل مصحوبة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullah, brothers and sisters. I was asked by a person I met at work, what will you do on the weekend? Then I answered that I'm going to celebrate the birth of Lady Zainab, peace be upon her. He replied, Zainab? Hussainiah? He didn't know who is Zainab and what's a Hussainiah is. I answered, Hussainiah is the place that we commemorate the birth and the death of Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them. Brothers and sisters, from this little conversation, I had the idea in my mind that we, as followers of Ahlul Bayt, we don't speak enough of Ahlul Bayt in our daily life. Sometimes a simple question, they're gonna ask us, what you gonna do on the weekend? You're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna go to work. But sometimes we don't identify those activities, assuming that people wouldn't know what we're talking about. And you're not wrong, you're right. People wouldn't know what you're talking about. However, it's our duty as followers of Ahlul Bayt to speak about our religious activities for people to know us, and of course the main purpose to know Ahlul Bayt. As one of the Sadiqeen says, I believe it's Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad salamullahi alayhi, rahimallah man ahya amrana فَمَنْ فَعَلَ ذَلِكَ تَنْزِلْ عَلَيْهَا الرَّحْمَةِ. Whoever mentioned Ahlul Bayt in any simple conversation, it could be a supermarket, it could be a friend conversation, try to mention Ahlul Bayt because it's part of our identity. Brothers and sisters, my name is Nooraldeen Aldrees, and today I'm going to talk about a very significant and important figure that we live in its birth memorial period. It is Zainab, the daughter of Ali, the son of Abu Talib. She is Zainab, the daughter of Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny. She is Zainab, the sister of two prominent political and spiritual leadership of the Islamic history. She is the sister of Imam Hassan, the son of Ali, as known as the generous of Ahlul Bayt. And she is the sister of Imam Hussein, the son of Ali, the master of the martyrs. She is the sister of Abbas, the son of Ali, the water supplier of the thirsty people of Karbala, as known as in Arabic, Saqi Utasha Karbala. This is not an easy figure. When we speak about it, it's hard. It's a humbling experience to speak about Zainab. As we can see, brothers and sisters, this character is surrounded by a group of people that are known of their infallibility and purity. Zainab is surrounded by the Ma'sums, Rasulullah, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Fatima al-Zahra, al-Hussein, al-Hassan, al-Abbas, salamullahi alayhim ajma'in. Every person is carried with the load of examples and attributes that we as followers of Ahlul Bayt in particular, Muslims and human in general, can learn from to better ourselves as believers and non-believers. Yes, brothers and sisters, we can learn from Zainab regardless of our religious affiliation. When I want to speak about Zainab, brothers and sisters, it's a very challenging task and responsibility. I asked myself, should I speak about her grandfather, Prophet Muhammad? Or should I speak about Ali ibn Abi Talib? Should I speak about Fatima? Should I speak about Hassan? Should I speak about Imam Hussein? Salamullahi alayhim ajma'in. Should I speak about Abbas? It's a cluster of greatness. I ask Allah to forgive me, brothers and sisters, because I know my few words can never conclude who Zainab is. This is because Zainab is an internal spring of blessing, leadership, courage, patience, perseverance, sorrow, honor, integrity, and the word in the dictionaries that describes her attributes can be over. However, her attributes are beyond the limited verbal description. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
However, brothers and sisters, as followers of the Prophet progeny, we deliver our humble words hoping to satisfy our challenging duties and to bless our life with their commentary. I ask the owner of the time, in Arabic, Sahib al-Zaman, Imam Mahdi, may Allah speeds his arrival, to forgive me for my shortcoming in talking about his great aunt, Lady Zainab, peace be upon her. Zainab, peace be upon her, was born in the 5th of Jumada 1st of the 5th or 6th year of the Islamic migration, which coincides with October 2nd, 626 Gregorian calendar. The narrations says Lady Zainab was born. When she was born, the Prophet was informed, and he came to Fatima's house and said, "My daughter, bring me your newborn baby." When she brought her, he hugged her to his chest, and he put his cheek on her cheek, and he cried severely and loudly, and his tears were pouring on his cheeks. That's Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. For that, Fatima said, "What's upsetting you? I hope Allah does not bring you a reason for your eyes to shed tears, father." He said, "My daughter, O Fatima, this girl will be tested by many tragedies and she will experience different difficulties. Oh, you piece of my heart," he's speaking to Fatima, "and my eyes. Whomever cried on her memory and her crisis, he will be rewarded as if he was remembering her brothers." Speaking about Imam Hassan and Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thus, brothers and sisters, usually a birth of a child is a happy memory. And of course, it is a happy memory to remember the birth of Lady Zainab. However, because the Prophet knowledge of what Zainab would go through in her lifespan, he burst in crying. The questions, brothers and sisters, what really Zainab gone through? Zainab gone through the loss of her grandfather, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny, and she experienced at a very young age how most of the Prophet's companions and in the Islamic nation at that time shifted their allegiance from what the Prophet recommended to follow, which is his household, represented in Ali, Fatima, Hassan and Hussein, for mentioning their names. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
To very ill-qualified, ill-mannered, low Islamic knowledge and hypocrisy figures. Zainab has experienced silencing her mother to mourn and cry on her father crisis. History told us that the people of Medina gave Fatima two options. Either you cry on your father at night, or you cry on your father in the morning. But crying by Fatima, and all the time became a burden to the Muslims of Medina at that time. As a result, Ali ibn Abi Talib, peace be upon him, created a small shelter for Fatima out of the city called the House of Sorrows in the Baqi' cemetery. The house was demolished 2 times and eventually taken out by the Wahhabis in around 1925. Zainab, peace be upon her, experienced the physical assault of her mother Fatima when the hypocrite companions of Prophet Muhammad decided to attack Fatima house in order to get Ali ibn Abi Talib into a fight, to have an excuse to kill him in order to get rid of the legitimate successor and deputy of Prophet Muhammad, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Zainab, salamullahi alayha, brothers and sisters, experienced the armed attack of her father Ali ibn Abi Talib when he was attacked by Abdurrahman, the son of Muljam, or in Arabic Abdurrahman ibn Muljam, during Ali's leadership of dawn prayer or Fajr prayer, this attack led to his martyrdom, peace be upon him. Zainab experienced the poisoning of her brother Imam Hassan, the son of Ali, when he was poisoned by his treacherous wife, Ja'da, the daughter of Ash'ath. Ja'da made a deal with Muawiyah, the son of Abu Sufyan, to eliminate Imam Hassan, his political rivals at that time. In return, he offered Ja'da to marry his son Yazid bin Muawiyah. La'natullahi alayha wa alayhim kilam ajma'in. The woman dreamed to be the first lady of the Islamic nation. For that reason, she poisoned the legitimate successor of Prophet Muhammad, Imam Hassan. And she followed the false successor of the Prophet. However, at the end, Ja'da did not marry Yazid and did not gain anything out of killing Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, but our curses as followers of Ahlul Bayt and very reputable seat on Allah, eternal punishment, Jahannam. Zainab, peace be upon her, experienced the tragedy of Karbala, brothers and sisters, which is the tragedy that targeted the Prophet's progeny as a whole. If you notice in the previous incidents, it was like targeting sometimes Prophet Muhammad, sometimes Ali ibn Abi Talib, sometimes Imam Hassan. However, Karbala was a total annihilation of Ahlul Bayt. So Zainab experienced the tragedy of Karbala, which the tragedy that targeted the Prophet's progeny as a whole, centered in the leadership of Imam Hussein, the master of the martyrs. In this tragedy, Ahlul Bayt were starved, deprived from water and food for 3 days in the heat of the desert. Ahlul Bayt were ranging from all ages, infants, toddlers, young kids, unarmed females, old men, and about 73 armed men facing the army of Umar ibn Sa'd, which was estimated to be from 3,000 to 10,000 soldiers. In this tragedy, Abdullah the infant, or as known in Arabic, Abdullah al-Radiyya, salamullahi alayhi, the youngest son of Imam Hussein, about 6 months of age, was killed by an arrow of Harmala, alayhi la'inullah. The killing of Qasim, son of Hassan, Ali al-Akbar, salamullahi alayhi, her protector and brother Imam Abbas, the son of Ali, salamullahi alayhi. And the list can go on, and eventually the killing and the beheading of Imam Hussein, salamullahi alayhi. After the death of men of Imam Hussein army, the women tent were burned. Their jewelry was stolen. Their earrings were pulled out of their ears. They were kicked, slapped, lashed, yelled at, with no protector but Allah. At this time, brothers and sisters, Zainab told the leadership of the true followers. Zainab was the leadership of the true followers of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his progeny. Brothers and sisters, of course, that is not all what Zainab suffered. This is only a brief survey of major events that history books told us about the life of Zainab and her crisis. Zainab was called al-Masa'ib, the mother of crisis. Of course, brothers and sisters, after talking about these events, now you know why she was given that title. I wanted to share about Lady Zainab, her commitment. One thing also I wanted to share about Lady Zainab is her commitment to her religious duty. The narrations tells us after the 11th of Ashura, which is the killing of Imam Hussein and his companions, Fatima as-Sughra mentions that Zainab used to pray sitting. When Imam Hussein, Zain al-Abidin, asked, "Why do you pray in seating position, aunt?" She replied, "From what I experienced, my feet does not have the energy to stand." However, she continued her religious commitment to Allah in the hardest positions there could be. This is a lesson for us, brothers and sisters, that whatever things you have in your life, I do not believe that we endured maybe any or all those crises that Zainab endured during her lifespan. With that being said, Zainab continued her moral and religious duty as her grandfather, mother, father, brother displayed to her. One of her famous sermons is the sermon of Zainab in the court of Yazid, when he tried to break her pride and dignity. Brothers and sisters, we can talk about this in a different event. However, brothers and sisters, if you have time, read her sermon and teach it to your kids and family to give them the best Islamic value there is from Zainab bint Ali. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Two narrations I would like to share, brothers and sisters, that was narrated by Zainab, and then we can conclude. Zainab, peace be upon her, said, "The body has a piece. If it's fixed, the whole body can be fixed. And if it's corrupted, the whole body gets corrupted. This piece is the heart." So brothers and sisters, take care of your spiritual health, because it's going to reflect in your overall health and body. Another narration, brothers and sisters, is when Zainab said, this is specifically for the female, since Zainab, of course, is an Islamic female figure, but we all can learn from her, males and females. If the woman prayed her fives, and she fasted her month, and abstained herself from fornication, and she obeyed her husband, it is said to her, enter the heaven from whichever gate you desire. Fornication, brothers and sisters, means a sexual relationship without a legitimate marital contract. Brothers and sisters, by this we conclude our talk about Zainab. Of course, speaking about Zainab and her life and her wisdom and her courage could go on and on and on and on. But for the shortage of time, we can stop here and wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I thank you all for listening and coming, brothers and sisters. As you all know, we all share a one role, and it doesn't make a difference if we are listener or speakers. We all have one mission as followers of Ahlul Bayt, is to revive their memories and keep it alive for us and for our kids. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad at-tayyibin at-tahirin.